If I keep this painted over, even every second year or even every third year, this will last my lifetime and maybe my children's lifetime as well, because they don't make them like this anymore. Just let me say that I'm sitting on a machine here in North County Dublin that I would have pulled out of a hedge about 30 years ago. And this machine started in my life in the 1950s, when I remember it being put into that ditch, because at that stage it was the horses were leaving the farms. The horses would have left my farm in around 1955, and then this was a horse-drawn machine. This piece down here was where the horses backed into it. So this machine was parked, and it was parked in the field where it did its last job. This is a hay rake. It's a horse-drawn hay rake, and I'll explain. It's a very simple machine. Basically, there's on both sides there's a little adjustment to see how far these rakes can go up and down, and then the horse pulled it along. It dragged the hay into piles, and when there was enough hay underneath it, it lifted up like that. The hay dropped out the back and it came back down again. That left large piles of hay around the field, and then people came along with hay forks and they combined these into haycocks. So maybe there might be 5 of these piles of hay, and in the middle of those 5 they'd carry the hay from all of those, and they'd build a haycock, depending on the size of your haycock. It could be 5, it could be 10. So that was what this machine did. Okay, as a child, I have a lot of early memories of running around in the hay fields, of sliding up and down the haycocks, and later when I was a larger child, of being in the hayfield making those haycocks as well. And it was hard work, but during all of that time, this machine was in the corner. It was sitting tucked in against the hedge, and it was just there. And we had 8 in the family, and the lads used to love coming down and getting up on it and sitting on this and playing with the mechanisms of it. And then slowly but surely, as we grew older and wiser, the briars started growing as well, and they grew gradually over this machine. I would have been going up and down the lane on tractors in those years, and I always knew this machine was there. After a while you could just barely see it, and then you couldn't see it at all, and it was gone. But I always knew it was there. I broke down the briars, I got a tractor with a fork, and I lifted this machine out of the ditch, and I brought it up here and I placed it here. At that stage it was in very, very poor repair. You'll probably see, if you look closer, some of the spokes were really been eaten through with rust. It was brown, but nevertheless the material was an amazingly strong material, so it was still basically solid. So I got these people, and they, with their machines, they sandblasted it down so that it was clean as a whistle. Clean as a whistle, though, meant that immediately I had to put paint on it, because then I was allowing the elements to get in. If I'd left that even for a few weeks, then the rust would have really attacked this machine in a far worse way than nature had attacked it over the years. You know, this to me has a real value. This to me is part of a childhood, it's part of growing up, and it's part of maybe understanding where we moved from the horse to the tractor, and that to some people nowadays this might be scrap value. In real value, it's in the memories, in the heritage, and it's in what it means to me. And not just to me. I mean, my children now look in awe at this thing and wonder what it is too. And hopefully I can instill into them an understanding of what was in the past and what brought us to where we are today. So to me, that's what this means.